Philippine physical features. So, as you can see in our map, we are an archipelago, meaning we are composed of many islands and islets. Question: do you know how many islands we have? Well, let's see if you have the same answer with our Miss Universe. All right, she says that it's 7,107 and or if it's low tide 1,708. Let's see if that is correct with our historians. But before we answer that, look at our map. See how beautiful the landscape, the design of our country. So yeah, again, do you know exactly how many islands and islets thus our country have? And this one, look at this shadow, dark portion in here. Do you know what this is called? So this is the Philippine Sea. And this dark area in here, it has a reason why it's dark. So what do you call this part? We will know the answer to that later. Okay, so number one issue, the number of islands and islets in the Philippines. We will be the source of our discussion is from Pipito M. Capito, from compiled by Pipito M. Capito from the book of Pedro Gagilonia. So we will be discussing the different historians and their different views or different numbers or answers. So Molina says it's 7,083, and this is taken from their book because these historians have written books and the numbers are gathered from their own writings. And then Agoncillo and Alfonso says it's 7,000. Alip says it's 7,100. Saide says 7,083, the same with Molina. And Ariola says it's 7,100, the same with Alip. So somehow in here, it looks like Agoncillo and Alfonso rounded it up, and same with Alip. So those are the conflicting views. Now, another issue is the number of named islands in a named island. So not all the islands in the Philippines has names. So Agoncillo and Alfonso says it's 3,000 named islands and 4,000 unnamed. Alip, 2,773 named, and the rest are still unnamed. Zaide, 1,957 to 2,782 named islands. That is from his book, Philippine History for Catholic Schools. However, in his other book, Republic of the Philippines, he's got different numbers. 1,963 to 7,773. Republic of the Philippines, he's got different numbers. 1,963 to 7,773. So which one is true? Gagilonia, he said there are 2,000 islands named. And Google Wikipedia says 5,000 islands are yet to be named, meaning there are about 2,000 islands that are named. So somehow the same with Gagilonia. So if you round it up, it's about 2,000 to 3,000 islands that are named. So it's interesting to know that there are many islands that doesn't have any names yet. So maybe if you buy one, you own one. Okay. Number 3, they are having issues with the location of the Philippines. Zafra says Philippines is located about 700 miles or 1,126.54 kilometers from the mainland China. Molina says Philippines is located southeast of the Asiatic mainland. Alip, Philippines lies about 700 miles or 11,026 kilometers. So the same as Safra to the southeast of the Asia mainland. Zaide says Philippines is a sprawling archipelago fringing the southeastern rim of the Asian continent. Of waves there, good waves, is because of this. So that is what you call the Philippine Trench. Okay. Okay. The Philippine Deep, or also called the Philippine Trench, Mindanao Trench, or Mindanao Deep. So that is what you call that area. This is the third deepest in the world, which is located on the east of the Philippines. Its length is 1,320 kilometers or 820 miles in a width of about 30 kilometers. This is located in Luzon, trending southeast, so from here to the northern Maloko island of Halmahera, Indonesia. Galathea Deep depth, its deepest point, has a depth of 10,540 meters. So the deepest point of the Philippine Deep is called Galathea Depth. So this is the Galathea depth, and it's 10,540 meters. So, okay. Now, the location of the Philippine Deep. So, the historians have different definition or different location. Molina says Philippine Trench, which is found east of Mindanao, is the second lowest region of the Earth. Zaide, it is the lowest region in the world, and ocean depth east of Mindanao. And he also says it is the lowest part of the Earth, situated about 15 miles northeast of Mindanao. And that is in his other book. And in his another book, Philippine History, now it says it is the second lowest place in the world and is located 72.4202 kilometers east of northern Mindanao. So something's wrong with his facts, right? It differs from book to book. And then Agoncillo says it is the second deepest sea in the world, which is located east of Mindanao and with a depth of 35,440 feet. And Google, which is somehow the arbitrator, it says the Philippine Deep Sea has a depth of 34,580 feet or 10.539984 kilometers. Okay, okay. So what is the largest, longest, and widest river in the Philippines? Do you know? So this is the longest, largest, and widest river in the Philippines. Long, winding river. Do you know where this is? This is the Cagayan River or the Rio Grande de Cagayan. So question, is this in Mindanao or in Luzon? So fact, this Cagayan River or Rio Grande de Cagayan is the largest, longest, and the widest river in the Philippines, and it is located in the northeastern part of Luzon that traverses the provinces of Nueva Vizcaya, Quirino, Isabela, and Cagayan. And this is the Rio Grande de Mindanao or Mindanao River. So from the word itself, it is in Mindanao. And facts, this is the second largest river and located on the southern part of Mindanao. It has a length of 373 kilometers. Its headquarters are in the mountains of Impasugong, Bukidnon, south of Gingoog City in Misamis Oriental. So to those who lives in Mindanao, knows this. Okay, so we are talking about rivers, the longest river in the world. Again, disagreement among the authors of Philippine history. Alep says Cagayan River is the longest river in the Philippines. Molina says, no, Rio Grande de Mindanao is the longest river in the Philippines. Benitez says Rio Grande de Mindanao is the longest river in the Philippines, the same as Molina. Zaide says the longest river is the Rio de Mindanao that is cited in his book Philippine History for Elementary Schools and Philippine History for High Schools. So for those who are using his book, would be misinformed because that is Rio de Mindanao is not the longest river. That's the reason why it is needed to have many sources than just one source. And Google says Rio Grande de Cagayan is the longest and widest river in the Philippines. And Rio Grande de Mindanao or Mindanao River is the country's second largest river system with a length of 373 kilometers. So that is about the river. Now let's go to Straits. Straits are, so you know this, you will be traveling in here. It is a naturally formed, narrow but navigatable waterway that connects two larger bodies of water. So again, the disagreement among authors of Philippine history. Molina says there are 8 landlocked straits in the Philippines. Landlocked means enclosed or nearly enclosed by land. Agoncillo says there are 20 landlocked straits. Zaide says there are 8, but Google says there are 22 straits. Now we'll see who's correct. You will know this in your maritime subjects. What is this? This is the coastline of Daco Island in Siargao. Okay. Coastline or seashore, where land meets the sea or ocean or lake. So, okay. So again, there are disagreements among the authors of Philippine history. Saide says the Philippine coastline is thrice longer than the U.S. coastline, with 10,850 statute miles, or 17,461.382 statute kilometers. So they differ in numbers here. Molina says the Philippine coastline is 11,446 statute miles, or 18,470.605 statute kilometers. And Alip, Philippine coastline is nearly 11,000 miles. Philippine coastline is nearly Benitez. Philippine coastline is nearly 11,440 statute miles. So more or less, they are of the same 10,000, 11,000, 11,400, 11,400. It's not, it doesn't really differ in bigger numbers. Now let's go to mountains. So Mount Apo of Davao. This is Mount Apo in Davao City. And this mountain, this beautiful mountain, is the highest mountain in the Philippines. So again, there are disagreements. Agoncillo says Mount Apo is 9,600 feet or 2.9 kilometers high. Alip, 9,699, more specific, or 2.956 plus kilometers. Zaide says it's 9,690 feet or 9.2 kilometers high, while Google says it's 2,954 kilometers high. So somehow they are the same. They just round off 2.9. They just differ in small numbers. And how about this? This is Mount Bulag. It's so beautiful. It's sometimes called Mount Bulog, the third highest mountain in the Philippines, and Luzon's highest at 2,922 meters above sea level. And it borders between the province of Benguet, Ifugao, and Nueva Vizcaya. So see how beautiful this is. Okay, so the disagreements. Agoncillo says Mount Pulag is the second highest peak in Luzon. Alip says, and so it's with Agoncillo, it's just 8,481 feet. Alip, it's 9,606 feet high. Zaide says it's 9,690 feet. Google says it's 2.9 kilometers high.